Hello, this is the first video in my new series where I basically get a 25k or do a Geoguessr speedrun, and then afterwards I'll add commentary on and basically explain what I'm doing. And so I think after each one I record is going to be faster than the last, so I'll record each one I do, and then whenever I get a faster one than my previous best, I'll upload it. So since this is my first one, I basically just did a 25k to see how long it would take, and this is the starting point. So I'm playing a moving world, which is obviously quite good for 25. I'm guessing it's got a lot of info and things. I'm just going to check I'm recording. Yeah. Okay. And I'll just start talking about it basically. So yeah, I start here. It's got .my, so I know I'm in Malaysia, and everything looks very Malaysian. So I'm thinking I'm in a place called Bliss Gardens. Which sounds a bit strange. I feel like you're often in places like this, like gardens in the middle of cities in Malaysia. So so assigned to the crematorium. I was just making a note of that. And then Memorial Hall. So now I'm probably in the garden, the middle of a fairly big city maybe. Although there's some hilly mountains over there. So I'm just I'm not really sure where it is yet. But I'm just making sure that Taman Pering Tannen is into place. That was on the top of the sign there. So I just moved it a bit, and I come to this divided highway, and it's annoying. So that street sign's not the one I want, because that one doesn't have the name of a city on. That just says the road name, but I don't realise immediately that it doesn't have. I think that might be the city at first, so Macmer. But now I move, and these green ones, the ones you want, at the bottom it says the name of the city. So now I know the name of the city is Shah Alam, and I just start scanning Malaysia, because normally if it's got on the bottom of the street sign, I guess I think it can often be fairly big. So I see some fairly big buildings here, and then that says Shah Alam as well. Here, and it says Macmer here as well, which I'm pretty sure I noticed. So I'm not quite sure if Macmer is the name of the city or Shah Alam. Basically, just I assume it will be a fairly big place, and then yeah, look in Johor Bahru. Yeah, just scan at fairly high zoom level, and then just scan over Malaysia. Okay, so I don't see it like this. I mean, this point I check Kuala Lumpur, and in case it's a suburb or something, and I immediately see it. So now I know that I'm there, and I'm thinking about the Bliss Gardens that we spawned in, and I'm looking for somewhere green on the map maybe, or somewhere with quite a bit of space, where there could be gardens, and maybe a POI as well saying Bliss Gardens or crematorium. I'm also looking for, and I have to. Well, yeah, you'll see. Unfortunately, this one takes me quite a while, because I know it. I'm not quite sure how far Shah Alam extends for, and that looks. I go back to the start just to check what the start looked like. So spawn on a roundabout, and just Bliss Garden thing again. That's a photo of for spawn. And so now I think I assume that it'll be somewhere around like some place like this with quite a bit of space, but I don't see any roundabouts there. So yeah, it's just I think it's hard to know when to just like scan for something and what you need to scan for, or when to like look for more information. But now I decide to move back again and yeah, sign to the crematorium again. And I can't quite remember what I'm scanning for here, probably like, I'm not sure, but I realised there's not much point quite soon. So just make sure it's not any of these green patches on the map, because they can often like most of the time it's just some random white bit, but some is obviously good to check the green patches because it's definitely got a high likelihood of being there. And just yeah, I think I'm wasting a bit of time checking all these things. Okay, so here I notice and here I come to a big divided highway, and this time I just look at the road name. Persian Thetia Macmer. So now I'm just going to scan for that, and yeah, line up the road angle, but I don't think I'm happy with this road angle, so I couldn't see enough of the road, so I want to get a better look. I'm looking for a divided highway that's at that angle and has the name that I'm looking for. And I feel like I thought it would be pretty easy to find because it's such a big road and I know roughly where I am. But I struggle quite a bit with finding it, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, I just have to look for a while. So I think I'll just be quiet for a couple of minutes while I scan. And I just spotted, I didn't see this before, but I spotted a POI thing, Bliss Gardens, up north of where I'm looking at the moment. So it's about like here on the map. And yeah, I don't think I saw that at all during the round, so if I had, yeah, here we go, Bliss Gardens. I mean, I still think I don't see that, but I see this road name. This road name is the one I was looking for, so now I know it's this. And now I'm thinking, let's just scan for a roundabout and then I can click it. Unfortunately, I have a harder time finding a 5k than I wanted. I thought that'd just be an obvious roundabout that it would be, and I could just click it. Unfortunately, it takes me a bit longer than that, and I scanned for a while without finding it. But I just assumed there'll be a roundabout somewhere around here. But then, in the end, I decide, I get a bit annoyed about not finding it, and I just go, I decide that I need to go back to the start. So, I think, around now, it's actually on my screen there, like, I basically zoomed in on it, but it wasn't an obvious roundabout shape, which I think is why I didn't spot it, which is a bit annoying. I probably should have done. But okay, so I scanned this for a long time. I thought I should just be able to see it, which is why. But then I started to go to the start. See, and just see the layout, and I see it, we spawn next to the divided road, and then at that point I pretty much immediately see it. And I send a 5k. Nice. I'm gonna spawn again. And we're in Malaysia again. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. But Malaysia's not a terrible country to 5k. It's just it doesn't normally take me like hours or anything, but it always takes a while for me. So I see the city name there, and I think in these two Malaysia rounds, I think I just made very bad decisions on when to scan and when to like look for more info, and also what to scan for and like how long to scan for. And I definitely, at this point I was already very unhappy with how I did in the first round. I felt like it wasn't that hard of a round, and I felt like I did a lot worse on it than I should have done. I should have 5k'd a lot quicker probably. So here I see the thing saying Ipoh. So I assume we're going to be near Ipoh. And we've got a bunch of place names, so I just scanned the map for these. They look like they should be pretty findable. Like, if you know you're near Ipoh. Obviously, the thing saying Ipoh wasn't like a signed to Ipoh or anything. It was just like poster saying Ipoh. But at that point, you normally assume that like you're near. But if you see something saying it, you normally assume you're near the place, unless it's like type of brand of beer or something, or like some company. Now I set a checkpoint, and yeah, I spent a while reading it, but they changed how the checkpoints work. And Tanjong Malim, so that's the name of the city. So I scanned that near Ipoh, and I'm not sure how long I scanned for here. So yeah, I think maybe it's like a suburb of Ipoh, because when you're on a divided highway like this and you see something saying Ipoh, it's like you think you could just be like almost inside it. So that would make sense. That didn't quite end up being the case. I now see a sign to like Malim Trimmer and Kota. Now I think at this point I thought I'd heard of Kota before. I couldn't remember the state or like big city in Malaysia, so I zoomed up quite a lot here. And I think in the end it wasn't. So I think I even checked Borneo just to make sure it wasn't like the big city on Borneo. And yeah, I was quite So for some reason I just like must have been remembering wrongly. Yeah, I think I spent, because I'm scanning for other places as well, like Primer. So I think I end up scanning for quite a while here. Yeah, I do check Borneo as well. I thought I was going to do it now, but I thought I did it pretty quickly, but maybe not. But yeah, I'm annoyed that I can't see Kota. I thought it was a big place for some reason. And yeah, I just decided to carry on apparently. Okay, Proton City. Okay, and I decided that's not worth scanning for. I look at some of the other signs. And now I see a sign number 1 to Kuala Lumpur. And TG Malim. And so I'm looking at the one from Kuala Lumpur. And there's a Tanjong Malim. So I go back to the start. And first of all, I'm thinking about like where I'm going. So I think I went like it's south and then west. South and then it curves down to the west for a while. And so quickly looking to see if there's any obvious, or like check how big the place is, whether or not I'll just be able to scan for that, but I decided I won't. So then I reached a divided highway, and I think that at this point I should be able to scan for it. And here, I'm looking for a road name. So this is the road going onto the divided highway. Paziran Padana. Now this was weird because I don't think this actually was the name of the road going onto the divided highway. I'll check once I find it. It took an annoying amount of time, way longer than it should have done. Because it turned out I wasn't... This is a problem I always have with Malaysia. There's always something different to how I think it is. And it always takes me way longer than it should do to find. And this bait road number was really, did a good job of baiting me. Because road name, I mean. Because it meant I spent ages looking, for that road. And, it must have... Oops, sorry. I just leant on the trackpad there. Yeah, it just made me spend ages looking for no reason. And I was getting quite frustrated at this point, I wasn't happy with how I was doing. And, I was thinking, it's taking me way too long to 5k these 30 rounds, so at this point I was thinking I might not even release this video, because if it just took if it took over an hour I probably wouldn't have done. And it definitely it didn't end up taking quite that long in the end, so that's good. But yeah, I was getting quite frustrated because both these rounds were definitely very findable. Now I got this one originally confused me. It's Kuala Lumpur and Ipoh along the 1 kilometer. I wasn't what does that 1 kilometer mean? But I quickly realized it just meant 1 kilometer until you get to the 1. And then I saw this and apparently I ignored it. Okay. So, now, and that bait road name is still baiting me. It's really annoying. I'm still it just made me, at this point I'm not really thinking about it too much. I'm looking for divide the highway that lines up, and not really, because I'm sure I saw a few things saying the name of this place. What's it called again? Okay, I'll say when I say the name again. I'm reading the road names here. Oh yeah, Malam. Kota Malam. That was the place a bit more south, actually, I think. And then, yeah, there's definitely, I feel like I spent ages scanning here. But I believe that eventually, I'll start scanning again. Oh, yeah. And I think at this point I start to see the right, I start thinking about the right, sort of place, which is just north of the kind of large town, which when I was scanning originally around Ipoh and things, there was actually on the map multiple times, so if I if I was looking for that, maybe I could have seen it, and it's so annoying how that always happens. But it's so much easier to spot when you're watching it afterwards. So now I'm going back to the start to try and get an image in my head of what the road looks like. And I'm still not doing a good job here. It's the longer it takes, the more because I'm mostly just concentrating on trying to 5k around, but in my head I'm I know it's taking longer and longer, and I know it shouldn't be taking this long. Just thinking for a second, and I decided that does look about right, and then I see that road there, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. So So yeah, let me go back a bit. Okay, yeah, because this road, Jalan Sentosa, is like, it's not the road that I'm scanning for. So that's strange. Yeah, that and it took me ages, but eventually I did manage to find a 5k. But yeah, I wasn't really happy with how long that took. And okay, I need to. So I know the Philippines. I'm looking for an address, and yeah, I thought I would have one on. It said like the barangay, which is like basically the village, like community. But unfortunately, didn't have a province on, which is what I need. Now, Philippines can, because the provinces because the addresses say a province on, which is a pretty specific region, and then like the tiny town area, it can be quite easy to 5k. The thing that's okay, I love Zone 2. For some reason I thought it said Zone Z in the thing. Like when I was playing, I mean. But I wasn't really thinking about that yet anyway, because I had no idea where I was. But often the addresses you get are quite baity in the Philippines. Like they don't really make much sense. And I was already thinking this coming into the round. I've had problems 5k'ing before because the things are a bit weird. And but even knowing that already, I still got like so I found Gataran in Cagayan, which is the northernmost province, like northeastern province. And it says Pina Oeste on the top of that sign, and this is also a primary school. Yeah, Pina Oeste Primary School. So if you look on the map, yeah, here it says Pina Oeste, but there's nothing there. Like there's no roads or anything. There's a town hall though, which is kind of weird. Like there's no roads. It doesn't really make any sense. But I decided that we can't be there. Well, obviously there's no roads. So I'm like, where are we? And I think I'm also scanning for the primary school as well. I decided to just carry on for a bit, look for another address maybe, see what that says, and another business name. And and I find this like well, there's a police outpost there, but I decided that's not helpful. Like, not worth scanning for that. And I think I find like, is this? You get so many elementary schools in the Philippines for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, and all the names are bait as well. So like yeah, it's a bit like it's just sometimes it's just weird, but I'm just looking for another address. I think what I actually should have done is just zoom along and try and just find like try and find another road it joins onto or something. I think that would actually have been the best way to like 5k this round faster. So I set a checkpoint and start going the other way. First, I just looked to see if there's any road line, like what road line lines up around Gataran, and there's a bunch of tiny roads. And although it's like there's no, I feel like roads like this are almost always on yellow roads. I don't know why, but like I guess I don't feel like there's any reason it can't be on those small white roads, but in my experience, it's just not. Normally on the yellow roads, if you're on like a concrete road like this. But it's like I've seen yeah, I'm still a bit like confused by that elementary school I saw. It's like, is the map wrong or is the address wrong? Or like it's weird. I feel like the map must be wrong, but like you wouldn't have it like Barangay Hall in the middle of nowhere, would you? Like that no one can actually get to. So maybe it's a bit strange. Anyway, I'm going the other way now, and I just carry on for a while. And okay, so here we've got another school. Welcome, if we said like, welcome to the entrance of this school or something. I don't know, I can't read Spanish, but I decided to scan, I can't remember what word I'm scanning for here. But it's just I noticed a lot of schools around the area, and I'm just checking to see if any of them have the name of this one. But they don't in the end, so yeah, I realised that, and, or do I? Yep, and I just carry on going, zooming down the road. And here I see another, no, gas station. Okay. Well, I think I do find another like church. I think I find, and here we go. Welcome the United Methodist Church. Oh. 300 meters, Capisayan Elementary School. 150 meters, Capisayan Health Center. And I mean, Capisayan does look like the place on the map that I just saw, but then you should. I think that one ends up being like pretty much correct, but you shouldn't. I mean, never trust things like that. It's always like if all the other stuff's bait, then there's no reason that some random thing wouldn't be. So, but I don't think I actually saw that anyway. But yeah, so now am I looking? I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. I'm just like, is there a church? Is there another school? Just scanning with POIs. And yeah, they can be quite a way from the like place they say, which in this place like Gat, like a place that begins with like G. Gataran. And welcome zone 2, and at this point I also realised the thing that I thought said welcome to zone Z said zone 2. Now I'm scanning for zone 2. Here I say Dalla zone 2, but it doesn't really seem right to me, so also it's a school for some, I said it's all a bit weird in the Philippines, but I think I decided that's not useful and just carry on. Now there's a thing here, looks like it says something on the other side, so I go to the other side, and I have no idea what that says. And then there is just like congratulating someone else, or no, or something about the mayor. And now I'm over this river, and if I got to this before, it would have been so quick to 5k. But I realised it must be that bridge, and now all I have to do is just go back to the start and like 5k at. So what I should have done on Michelle was just zoom to try to find like a bridge or like a bigger road or something like that, or another road that like joined on, and then line that up rather than looking for all the businesses, because I already know that doesn't work very well. And so here I go at the start, line the road and go up, go southeast, line the road and go up. Now I think I know the rough area it is at this point, and yeah, the thing I was thinking makes sense, and it still makes sense here, I believe. So, yeah, check the map and it still makes sense. So now, okay, yeah, just that place again. So it's probably just labelled on the map. And then, once I see all this, like, makes sense, I think I decide to go back to the start. Yeah, and I go and check north. And I think we're on this bit with like a slight bump now, and I see here, and yeah, there's a bump, and I see. Also, another thing I noticed, I'll quickly point out. I'm zooming so far out. Okay, let me just. Sorry. We're gonna have to watch this small bit again. That's fine. So, there was that like Capisayan school place which I noticed previously. And I spot that on the map again, I believe. I spot Capisayan on the map, and like that like matches well. So that's another way I knew we were there. And at this point, I need to go and have dinner. So I just leave it recording for ages. And so I'm sorry about that. But I'm just going to skip forward until I come back, which is about now. Oh, wait, no, it's not now. Okay, ignore that. Okay, it's about now. Here we go. Okay. Now, start to play again. I'm going to check the... So I see I'm in America. And on this map in America is normally fine because normally enough info. But yeah. Rounds definitely vary. Like, if you're not on a map with info, like an American round, you can just go for ages without seeing anything. Luckily, I know quite a lot of phone codes, so if I see one of those, I should know birth date. But it doesn't seem to say anything helpful. Just ignore that. And no, just another road name. And then I realized, like, at this point, it's looking quite big, like Topeka, I'm not sure. Well, I pretty sure that ends up being the name of a place. It's a pretty big place in the end, so maybe you've heard of it. But we'll see where it ends up being. So yeah, just going along this road. At this point, I'm thinking it's a fairly big place. I also saw something saying Topeka Country Park at the start. I don't know if I forgot to say that, but yeah. So at that point, I thought I misread it as county, and I thought it was called Topeka County, which wouldn't be helpful. So here it says airport like it doesn't really sound very English to me, so I was a bit confused about that. The reason I was zooming in like Massachusetts was because I thought I saw a Massachusetts license plate. It probably was. When I see TopekaMetro.org, and I'm like, oh, okay. The place is called Topeka. Topeka, yeah. And here, luckily I don't see anything that says Austin, otherwise I might have got a bit baited. But, okay, not this thing. This is like Route 66 petrol station or something. Something around here. There's Kansas, yeah, Kansas on. So I have to go to Kansas, which is quite far away. And then, yeah, Topeka is one of the biggest cities in Kansas, so... And then I go back to the start. Let's see the Topeka Country sign, Topeka Country Park sign again. This time I read it correctly, and so in America we have a lot of like green places in the cities and things, and it's like but I get lucky and immediately see it, and at this point I know I'm this thing. Now after like, even though I wasn't happy with how fast I 5k'd the first 3 rounds, like, all of them I thought I should have 5k'd a lot faster. I still want to be careful, so, even though I pretty much know where I am at this point, I just travel north, see I get to, that bit further north there on the map. And at this point I'm pretty confident know where we are. So, yeah, I just send it into... Okay, nice one again, and I'm in America again. Yay. Well, fortunately, fortunately this is a very good map for spawning in America. Like, American can be quite, like, easy to find and pinpointing often, so as long as there's, like, information, somewhat, like, relatively near spawn and, like, tells you, very close, like, tells you roughly where you are, you're fine. But the problem is, if you only have one tiny town name and the name of the state, then it's like you can't really scan for a tiny town in a whole state. Or if you just have the name of a state, that's pretty useless, and if you just have a tiny town name, that's pretty useless as well. So you definitely need to have the right information. That time I had, in the previous round, I had like the name of one of the bigger cities in the state and the state, so that's helpful. And here, it's just a church. I consider that might be helpful for trying to find like 5k once I know where I am. I'm not really sure. And yeah, I just zoom along, and when I notice there's these signs. Okay, so Oklahoma, I mean 64 and 412. I immediately thought of a 412 road, and I immediately see a 64 as well. And I don't do an amazing job of like figuring out. So I spend ages trying to figure out where, like, looking at places where the 412 and 64 meet, and looking for 3 and 136 Oklahoma roads. And yeah, it takes me a while of scanning. So I think I just scan around where I see them at first, but I don't see the 3 or 136. And then after I realise they're not there, I just scan along with 412 in both directions, I think. Or mostly to the east, yeah. Through Tulsa. And I'm looking for 64, but it seems like it's gone by now, so it looks like beforehand, well, it goes out to Oklahoma then, so yeah. So I look down the other way, look at the place I originally saw the 64 again, realise it's not there again, then realise that I've got some signs. I know that I've heard of Boise City, but maybe I hadn't, it was just my imagination. I don't know, because it's not actually that big, is it? Like, you can't see it from the zoom level, but then I scanned along with 412, and yeah, I see it there to the left of my screen. To the left of the screen. And then I decided probably in a Gaiman, however you pronounce it. So, well, yeah, I just I decided to check, and I can see there's a big junction up there, or, well, there's a junction up there, and I check whether they just say the same stuff. And here I check the angle, well, yeah, it's the same stuff again. So I check the angle, and I think I check whether it fits for here, and the type of intersection makes sense, so it's obviously there. So then all I need to do is just, well, yeah, I just check that Boys and Keens are a sensible distance away. And then I just need to go at the start, line the road angle up, but obviously, well, I know roughly where I went. And then now I just need to figure out how I need to pinpoint it. And I look at the road name, that's not the road name. I look at the road name, it says Road S is the one I'm looking for. So I zoom in, and then Road T, Road S, and I'm like, just checking if it actually makes sense. And I guess it, yay! And yeah, but that's my first 25k of the series. So it took me 35 minutes 39 seconds. It felt like it took longer to me. I think it was just those first 2 Malaysia rounds felt like I spent so long scanning them, it felt like it took forever. But well, from here all the rest of the videos will be shorter. And yeah, 2 Malaysia rounds and 2 US rounds. So, US ones were pretty fast, well, not that fast really, but faster than the others, I guess, so yeah. And that's the end. Oh, starting again. Okay, that's the end. So, goodbye, thank you for watching, and yeah, hopefully you watch the others in the series as well. I'll see how fast I can get.